Well, hello and welcome back. Thanks for coming back. Where are we? That's what you're wondering. Well, we're right at the top of the Masui Avenue and we're starting our descent. And you may have noticed that the sky, well, it's not that blue. They're promising us thunderstorms yet again. So there was us thinking that we danced into May and that the summer had finally arrived. But unfortunately, it's taken a little bit of a turn to the left, like we're doing on the Trimark roundabout, and the weather has gone a little bit, well, Sherlock Holmes. Those are the words to describe it. And unfortunately, there's some people getting married tomorrow that we happen to know, and well, they're forecasting it to be a little bit of a washout. And also there's a gentleman in the UK, he's going to have one of those crown things put on his head, isn't it? And apparently that's going to be a washout too. So you can't have everything in life, but if you want to sit back, kick off the flip-flops, pour yourself something nice, hot, cold, alcoholic, or perhaps even a can of Pepsi Max with a few cherries in it. Sit back and relax and enjoy the drive as we go for a little drive from Upper Paphos, and we're heading out towards the workshop. Yes, lady, so sweet Caroline, who's prancing around in her flared pyjamas. Yes, I haven't forgotten. Don't forget the whiplash. Don't get too close to her, Lord Nigel, otherwise you'll get whipped, that's for sure. Although you'd probably like that, won't you? Anyway, right, I digress. We're starting our descent through towards the Anavargos roundabout. Technically now, as you may have noticed on the signpost, we've just entered Paphos. That's how the locals say it, but we'll call it Paphos. So downtown Paphos, that's where we are sort of heading to. And then we're going to take a diversion and fly through Geroskipou village out towards the workshop. But don't get too excited, lady. So sweet Caroline. We're only going to go for a quick mosey there. But if you come back in the next little episode, guess what? It's a full mosey on down in the body shop and the mechanics. And we're going to see just what's going on a Friday afternoon. And Friday morning and a Friday afternoon, if you understand. We're going to have a busy day. There's a few cars to return, so let's go and see what the boys are up to and if they've kept a schedule. Or am I going to have to get my rubber mallet out and invite the twins, known as Double Trouble, Double Pleasure, or a couple of pains, as I like to call them. Lord Jeremy and Lord Simon, are they going to have to get out of the boot and have a word with Mr. Hassan and all the other little employees that are not working hard enough? That's what I'm going to say. So here we are, this road. There's a few people understand this road's a road from hell. The potholes along here. Again, if your name is Lady so sweet Caroline, I wouldn't worry about the whiplash and the flares and the transcending back into the 70s. I'd worry about the bounce, so I'd get your bottom on a memory foam pillow. And just before you do, I'd pour a tot or two for the man known as Lord Nigel Big Guns, just to take away the pain while he's browsing and perusing through the Breitling catalogue, probably, well, pondering on his next purchase or perhaps buying the company, you never know. So we are rapidly now approaching to the Anavargos main roundabout, which we refer to it as the fountain roundabout. Even in the daytime there's water shooting here and shooting there, but at night time it's quite a spectacle. It all lights up and it changes colours, so you know that that is the fountain roundabout. Here it comes, right in front of us. At the moment they appear to have turned the jets off. Oh, what a shame. But it's still a nice roundabout. Here we go, fountain roundabout. We are going to take a left and we're going to head out towards the Limassol roundabout, and then we're going to take a right and go down into mid-Paphos, should we call it, and then head out through Geroskipou towards the workshop. Obviously we could go straight up the highway, bypass motorway, but we're not going to do that today. We're going to go down through Midtown Paphos, take it on a different route, shall we say. I'm just going to have a quick slurp on my rather nice... Excuse me, I'm dying. See the weather? Have you seen the weather, by the way? It's starting to spit with rain, even on my windscreen. And anyway, they've forecasted this now, tonight, Saturday, and into, well, they say midday Sunday, and then they say it should go away, and the sun should come dancing back. But, well, it's a strange year we're having. We've had some spectacular weather in January and in February. Lord Richard, his beautiful partner in crime, the lady known as Julie Nash, and of course my little mate, who's not that little, my Count Leo. They were here in January. Spectacular weather they had, and I mean absolutely spectacular. Some other superstars who moseyed on down in the winter time, shall we say, over the period known for the lovers. So Miss Andrea and Mr. Mart, they came out over Valentine's week, and well, the weather on that week, I think, was like a week in August, and the skies and the views across the blue Mediterranean Sea were quite simply spectacular. There's no doubt about that. Andrea often comments and mentions that the weather was absolutely spectacular, and now she's looking forward to going off to Rhodes, because in the summer that's where they're going to go for their holidays. So hopefully we'll get some nice pictures of well, Rhodes. There's a big castle over there, isn't there? One of these days I'm going to go, and hopefully you'll stick with us as we venture on our travels around some of the Greek islands. We're going to go to Rhodes, we're going to go to Corfu, we're going to go to Kos, because, you know, Sean and Dawn of weather fame, they're going out there next week. And Miss Dawn, if you're sitting there wondering what the weather is, well, you can see it's a little bit Sherlock Holmes, but of course you're wondering what the temperature is. So, if your name is Miss Dawn, you've got a husband called Mr. Sean, a little cat that you stole a while back from Paphos called Miss Daisy, and a little dog who's very, very clever indeed called Mr. Bobo. The temperature's not too bad. It's around about 19 degrees. There's a bit of a breeze coming, there's a bit of dust coming, and they say there's a lot of rain coming, but the temperature is holding up not too bad. Now, if you're curious to know why I say Bobo, the very, very clever dog, well, this dog is so clever, and he likes to watch the little channel known as Marika and Me, and he appreciates what we do, driving him round and mentioning him, and what he does is now and again he pops over to Mr. Sean's pocket and has a rummage in it and finds his plastic friend and goes through to the platform known as Buy Me a Coffee, as many other people do, and he buys us a coffee now and again as a thank you. There's also now a new feature where if you want to take all the hassles out of it and you want to join us on a monthly basis as a member, so you can be a superstar or even a superstar plus and make us a very, very modest contribution every single month and help the channel to grow, help us to be funded, in other words, help us to keep going around making these videos for you. And if you want special videos, drop in the comments, and guess what, those videos will come for you. So a big thank you to some of the people who have chosen to help us on our way, shall we say. The one and only superstar, the magnificent chap who's an expert at GoProing, of course the one and only Tony Nancaro, and of course his beautiful partner in crime, Miss Wendy. He's going to give me some help with the GoPro camera as and when I need it, as is J Mac, Justin Mac, of course, with his beautiful partner in crime, the one and only superstar known as Tracy. They're in downtown Paphos at the moment. The daughter, the superstar known as Miss Sophie, and of course her brother and their son, the great chap known as JJ. He's in town as well, but unfortunately they are jetting out today and they're heading back to downtown Warrington, and we wish you all the luck in the world, and we look forward to seeing you again very, very soon indeed. So big shout out to some other people who choose to help us on our travel. The one and only superstar, the girl in charge of most of the things on the channel known as Marika and Me, of course her name is Dayman, the absolute superstar. She's coming to Paphos next week, so we're going to get her on camera so that everybody gets to know what a superstar. I'm not stopping, Andrea, I'm not stopping. They're only on amber. There we go. I didn't go through on red, and it wasn't a policeman to the side of me. Other people who like to help us out now and again, Lady so sweet Caroline, and of course her partner in crime, Lord Nigel Big Guns. Thank you very, very much. Gwyneth Walker, all the way from Welshpool. Thank you very much. She's going to mosey on down to the Queen's Bay Hotel in downtown, I think it's Cassonica, isn't it? Confusion over there. Is it Cassonica? Is it Clorica? I think it's Cassonica. So she's going to mosey on down with some friends, and hopefully she's going to let us know when she's in town, and we're going to go and catch her and have a bit of shouting with her and chatting and dancing and all those kind of things. Many people are coming to town, that is for sure. Ian the Butcher, he's coming to town next week, and of course he's going to bring with him the most beautiful woman in the whole of Cheshire, not just Frodsham, and of course her name is Miss Beverly, and we're going to bump into them, and you never know, we might get Miss Beverly to do the Chuchka dance down the Ked of Paphos promenade. So there's always something going on the little channel known as Marika and Me. So we thank you for coming back. Whether you come back every single episode doesn't really matter. Come back now and again, and don't forget to drop it in the comments that you've come back so that we can say hello, because we do like to know that our friends are still with us. We really, really do. So, where are we? Downtown Geroskipou, I think is how you actually say it. And more people live in the Paphos district area here than anywhere else. Population's around about 12,000, so I'm told primarily they are locals, because of course this is a business hub and where they live and go to work and those kinds of things. Plenty of petrol stations, plenty of takeaways. You've got a big DIY shop coming up here on the left hand side. We call it the tall boy shop, because guess what, the man who runs it, he's pretty tall. His wife, she's pretty tall, and his daughter, she's pretty tall. The guy's about 6'3", so we call him the tall boy, because in general, with no disrespect, Cypriots are normally not that tall. I'm not that tall a man. I'm only 5'10", you know, not very big, but in general, I am taller than the majority of Cypriots. So there we are. I don't mean that as an insult. It's my little joke, should we say. Hopefully Ali is laughing out loud. Right, here we go. Let's keep going. We'll follow this JCB because he's obviously going somewhere to do some more big diggering. And you may have noticed that there is a lot of big diggering going on when I drive around. There's an awful lot of infrastructure projects going on. Some days you can go down that road and some days you can't. Well, it doesn't matter if it's a one-way street, you just go down it. Don't worry, this is Cyprus. Geroskipou Square, that's coming up on the right-hand side. They spent millions on this a couple of years back, and well, it doesn't look too bad. Big church behind it. You're going to have a bit of a walk around, but you do wonder, where did those millions go? And I didn't get to get any of it. Terrible, absolutely terrible. Right, let's keep going behind the JCB. At least we're not speeding, are we? But I tell you what, Mr. Andrew, the man behind me in his little Mazda 3, ooh, he's getting very, very frustrated. So I'll tell you what, we'll go a little bit slower than the JCB, just to annoy him that little bit more. Because we are in a built-up area. There's cats, there's dogs, there's people. Well, there isn't, because the weather's a bit, well, Sherlock Holmes. So, we are coming through Geroskipou, and most of us refer to this as the old airport road once we come out the other side. So if you hear that phrase, the old airport road, so in other words, this was the original road out towards the Mandrea airport area and beyond, and then of course they went and built a highway, a motorway, or a dual carriageway. I say the three words because obviously we have other nationalities from different countries watching us. In Cyprus they call it the highway. Marika refers to it as the highway. In England we would call it a dual carriageway, but of course some people call it a motorway, even though technically it's not, because it's only 2 lanes. Although someone will correct me in the comments, does it have to be 3 lanes to be a motorway? I think it does, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's not very busy, unless your name is Dizzy Blonde, and then you understand that we spend most of our day in downtown Paphos, driving around in gridlock. And on top of that, now and again, I have to get out of my car and carry it over some of the potholes. So, as I've mentioned, when you finally relocate to downtown Cyprus, your husband will have a job for the rest of his life. I know he's not a tarmac academy man, but it's something he'll get into. Drive around with the Gambara #1, the mayor, in his black Mercedes, fill the boot up with a bit of the black stuff, which, you know, tarmac, tarmac, whatever you, asphalt, whatever you choose to call it. Chuck a whacker plate on the back, get a shovel and a rake, and, you know, he'd be laughing all the way to the bank. Well, probably not actually, because the mayor will want most of it. Anyway, here we are. Slowly but surely, we're now exiting the area known as Geroskipou. You've got the Paws coffee shop on the right hand side, and then coming up here you've got Stella's coffee shop on the left hand side, where this green pickup is, and there's a little Moco pickup parked up there, and a Moco little motorbike. No, it's not a Moco, it's a nice motorbike though. Anyway, here we are. Now we're entering Colony, I think that's how you pronounce it. Remember, don't take it as gospel, because, well, my pronunciation is absolutely Sherlock Holmes. And now the man with the Mazda's now turned off, but now there's a man with a van, and he's very frustrated. Here we go. Oh, he's turned off. There we are. He went to overtake me, I thought, but he now turned off. There we are. I thought it was a bit stupid because it was a blind brow, but hey, anything can happen in downtown Cyprus, especially when someone's rushing to go and get a free frappe. And that's the police I'm talking about. Right, let's get round this JCB. wonder where he's going. I wonder which part of town he's going to. In fact, he might be going up to the industrial estate where I'm going, because they're doing a lot of big diggering around there as well. So that's probably where he's heading out. Or perhaps he's going to Paphos Airport to dig up the runway. You never know. Just to inconvenience the tourists that little bit more. Why not? Everywhere in downtown Cape of Paphos, they're inconvenienced. Although I suppose if you're a tourist, it's not too bad, because most of the time you're on foot. So digging and all that stuff doesn't really bother you that much, unless of course you trip over. But anyway, here we go. Let's get round it. Let's give it a bit of a welly. Let's see how quick she is. Yep, she's pretty quick on a straight, that's for sure. There we are. That's another one of those coffees gone in the tank, isn't it? That is for sure. So I'm going to say to you, thanks for watching. And of course, if you do like what you see, want to hit that like, click the subscribe, and perhaps come back for a little bit more of the lunacy on a daily basis. We're on 3 times a day. Marika's back on Sunday, if you're curious to know. Sunday, 3 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the UK, and she will be church dancing. Well, probably not, but having a sit down and a chat and saying hello to all of our family members. Thanks for watching, and of course we'll see you again very, very soon.